God bless. I want to give honor to God who is the head over my life. I'm reading from Proverbs 25, verses 1 through 14. I hope each and every person is having a blessed day. My subject is more Proverbs of Solomon. There are more Proverbs of Solomon complied by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. He is the glory of God, concealed in matter. To search out in matter is the glory of kings. As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of kings are unsearchable. Remove the dross from your silver, and a silversmith can produce a vessel. Remove wicked officials from the king's presence, and his throne will be established. Through righteousness, do not exalt yourself in the king's presence, and do not claim a place among his great men. It is better for him to say to you, "Come up here," than for him to humiliate you before his nobles. What you have seen with your eyes, do not bring hasty to court, for what will you do in the end if your neighbor puts you to shame? Okay, so in this, it talks about how Hezekiah was a king of Judah who honored the Lord. By contrast, his father actually nailed the temple door shut. Okay, Hezekiah's father nailed the temple doors shut from pagans getting through it, from wicked people getting through it. Okay, this was their job. This is what God led them to do. Okay, so he destroyed idol worship centers, earned the respect of surrounding nations, many of whom brought gifts to God because of him. It is not surprising that Hezekiah had these Proverbs copied and read for in everything that he understood, the service of God temple and obedience to the law, the commands he sought his God and worked wholeheartedly, so he prospered. This passage focused on the king, indicates the importance of the king's effort to discover the truth. Okay? So a king keeping his own counsel and making his own mind. Then we read, because wise king seeks good advisors, he must be aware of the dangers of those who are wicked in the place of influence. So even though that he King Hezekiah walked in truth, he had his own counsel. His own counsel was led by the Lord. Okay, so he got everything that he had to lead the people. It came from the Lord. Okay, it never came from himself, it came from the Lord. But the Lord was also warning him about the dangers of those who are wicked in places of influence, to not to not to not fall for these the wicked influences, to not follow behind them, to not walk with them, but to understand what his job was here to do. And it was not to be like them, it was not to shine like them, it was not to compete with them, but it was to do the Lord's work, and that was to tear down the house of idols. Okay, so who makes demands on the king's time treads on dangerous ground. Hezekiah began his collection of wisdom with the words for himself. Hezekiah begins his collection through the word of God, with no preacher having to listen to, but through the word of God, because his strength came from the Lord, it came from no one else. All right. Jesus made the Proverbs into a parable. We should not seek honor for ourselves. The better approach is to quietly and faithfully accomplish the work God has given us to do. As others notice the quality of our effort, they will be drawn into us. Okay, so never do anything for yourself, but always do it for the glory of God. Then only then you will be honored, because when you do it for selfish needs, then it shows no honor with God. If you take your neighbor to court, do not betray another confidence, or the one who hears it may shame you, and the charge against you will stand. Okay, so in everything that you do, if you take your neighbor to court, do not betray another's confidence. Do not betray what they said in confidence to you. Because those are what you called, working wickedly. If someone tells you something, carry it to God and leave it how it is, okay? Like apples of gold and settings of silver, it is a ruling rightly given, like an earring of gold. An ornament of fine gold is the rebuke of a wise judge to a listening ear. Okay, so it says like an apple of gold and a setting of silver is a ruling rightly given. As it like an earring of gold or ornament of fine gold is the rebuke of a wise judge to a listening ear. So always deal in righteousness, okay? Like a snow cooled drink, a harvest time is a trustworthy messenger to the one who sends him. He refreshes the spirit of his masters like clouds and winds without rain, is one who boasts of gifts never given. So, in everything that you do, always make sure if you're a messenger of the Lord, make sure that you are doing everything from the spiritual realm, that you're being led by the Lord so that the Lord's people will be saved, okay? And just showing them you know, the true beautifulness of being spiritual. It's about praying, it's about giving God the glory, it's about singing praises. And that's when the true beauty comes back from the glory of God, when you can do all that. That's when his beauty begins to shine in other people's lives. And that's how you begin to gain peace in your life. Okay. And in everything that you do not boast about gifts never given, okay? Through patience, a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. See, through patience, when you wait on the Lord, a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. If you just silence your tongue, you won't believe how many bones you crack, you break because of your silence, because you're led by the Lord, and the Lord teaches all of God's people to practice obedience and, practice discernment. All right. So, in everything that you do, always trust in the Lord. Make sure that He is first and foremost in your life. Don't be persuaded by pagans or idols, but always make sure that you stay in prayer. And this is how you will find peace. So, my subject is for today Proverbs 25, verses 1 through 14. God bless.